Hello, welcome to the channel. Rocking my Casio ABL 100, bringing me back to the 1980s. Kind of a retro vibe. I was cleaning out some storage and found a whole bunch of blank CDs, bringing me back to the late 90s. And you may recall we used to use these to burn music, photos, all of our data on these blank CD-ROMs. A whopping 700 megabytes. That's huge. Remnants of a bygone era, for sure. Speaking of a bygone era, I also found a bunch of cassette tapes, these compact cassette tapes from the 80s and 90s, full of old memories and music. You might be asking, what's this box doing on my desk? Well, I found all these cool tapes, but I've got no way to play them currently, so I jumped on Amazon and found a very cool retro-looking boombox, if you will, that has some very interesting modern features, but can still play my old cassette tapes. So before I say anything further, let me introduce our sidekick of the day. You know who this is? It's Lloyd Dobler. From the movie Say Anything, you might recall the iconic boombox scene where the power of the mixtape wins the girl. Ah, the magic of Hollywood. Nevertheless, the mixtape and the boombox were a huge part of the 80s and 90s, and I could not resist the look of this very cool QFX, the J-220BT, and would Lloyd Dobler be using this by today's standards? Well, the mixtapes are gone. Maybe he'd be using his phone, which he could easily sync with this because it has built-in Bluetooth and a bunch of other really cool specs, but does it sound any good? And the boombox that Lloyd had in the movie was a lot larger, so I'm not sure of the sound quality, but this one's a lot smaller and lighter. Plus, it has a built-in rechargeable battery, which I'm sure Lloyd would be appreciating at this point during the scene. It looks like he's getting a little bit tired there. So now we have a nice compact portable boombox with built-in cassette and some other cool digital features and a retro-looking vintage vibe. Very portable and full of cool features, but is it any good? Well, me and Lloyd and you are about to find out. Let's get started. All right, without further ado, let's get this thing unboxed and get a closer look at our J220BT. Pretty straightforward, nicely packaged. Got some nice foam and plastic wrap, couple pieces of paperwork, and that looks like everything in our box, so pretty straightforward stuff so far. Let's take a look at some of the paperwork. We do have a basic user's guide and a warranty certificate. Looks like we have a 1-year warranty from QFX. Good to know. And now on the most important part, let's get to our boombox. And I'm definitely having a flashback. This is like Christmas morning all over again. And there it is, the J220BT Boombox. And first impressions are, this is definitely giving me some retro vibes for sure. And all its plasticky goodness, including the swivel handle. This thing looks really cool, and it's definitely got that new plastic smell, which is bringing me back to the 80s for sure. It's funny how smells work that way, but that's definitely a scent from my childhood, bringing me back. So let's run down some of the key features. Of course, this is a cassette deck. First and foremost, the very reason I bought this, so you can play and record on your old compact cassette tapes. Next is, of course, Bluetooth connectivity, MP3 play and record via USB or SD card slots. We have 4 bands of radio coverage, FM, AM, shortwave, and of course a telescoping antenna for better signal. We have 2 onboard microphones built into the unit, also a 3.5mm headphone jack on the side. We mentioned the integrated plastic swivel handle for added portability and nostalgia factor. And you have just about every power option. This does take the conventional 4 D-cell batteries. You can plug in an optional DC or the supplied AC cable. Of course, a rechargeable battery built in, which makes this thing a game changer for me, and definitely the only way to use this unit as far as I'm concerned, with that rechargeable lithium ion. Excellent. Of course, a very nice manageable form factor, 14 inches wide, 7 inches tall, only 4 pounds with that battery. Overall, nice fit and finish. With an MSRP of $49.95, it's hard to go wrong. Again, first impressions, build quality seems to be very good. You're getting a lot here for the money. We do have metal screen protection over the 3-inch drivers, and overall this is really bringing me back to the 80s for sure. And the first impression is awesome. And the tape buttons are as rickety as I remember them to be. This is a great throwback unit. Got a little piece of packing tape here off of our switches. And I love the spray painted graphics there with the one-touch recording, rechargeable battery callouts. Slight blemish there to some of the paint on the graphics, but part of the nostalgic vibe, I guess. Nice hang tag calling out our rechargeability into this unit. Again, I don't know if this was always a rechargeable battery included unit. I've seen other reviews that don't call out the rechargeable battery, so I don't know if that's new or if just in the unit that I purchased. I will put a direct link to the one that I got on Amazon, but that makes all the difference to me. If you had to put D batteries in this thing, it would cost a ton, it would weigh a lot more, and it just wouldn't be worth it to me. So move over, Lloyd Dobler. We got Marty McFly in the house now. And looking at this boombox, this could very well have been in Back to the Future. It looks that authentic overall if you take the digital elements out of play. And there's so many different colors. I would have gone with the red to match Marty's JVC, the red accented video camera he used to film Doc Brown testing out the time machine at the Twin Pines Mall. And you know what? I'm really liking that red one, and I may just order it at this price point. Why not? So how does this unit sound? Well, easier said than done when you got to deal with copyright issues and want to make sure that we are honoring and respecting all the rules there. Of course, it may vary by where you are at, but my signal through the radio reception was incredible and very responsive and grabbed stations very easily. So very nice, pleasant surprise there with the radio system. So let me give you a sound sample. I've got an MP3 of some old guitar work I did. And it's just a recording directly into a field recorder with a SD card. It's just some random guitaring. Yeah, this is me recording a Strat directly into a field recorder. Ode to Lenoir. Overall, very clean sound. It's just some random Stratocaster sounds into some heavy delay there. And my goodness, look how slow the cassette door opens on. I don't know if that's on all these units, but that's definitely over dampened in my opinion. Don't remember the cassette doors opening up on the old units that slow. Used to slam it open so I can slam in my mixtape. Just saying. Guess I should finish the unboxing here. All right, there we go. Now we're all set. So I did some speaking recording into the mic on this unit, and this is just a quick sample of the playback. It's definitely not a strength to the unit, but I definitely wanted to give you an example of what you can do, because this will record analog tapes. All right, let's try this. All right, so I think we were breaking meter a little bit on the last one. I'm about maybe 20 inches away from the top of the recorder, and just want to see how this sounds. I'm speaking in normal speaking voice. I'm using my regular inside voice with our J-220BT. And you can definitely hear how loud the amp is, and there's just a lot of hum and a lot of warble there, but that's part of the beauty of analog tape recording. Full of imperfections, but that's part of the charm, and you get what you get, right? So overall, what are my thoughts on the QFX J-220BT? Well, there is definitely a lot to love here, especially at the price point. It's just a bargain. And did I mention it's got a tape deck? And a cassette player is just something I had to have, especially in this day and age where I'm trying to find my past through some of these old cassette tapes and, dare I say, go back in time, just like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. 40th anniversary this year. Can you believe it? I sure can't, because I was there. Nevertheless, this unit scratches the retro itch for me. And overall, I really like this box. Listing my pros and cons, I'd have to say first and foremost, it is a tape player. I can play my old cassettes. The price for what you're getting is awesome. Bluetooth capability, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and really the price of admission is the awesome 80s retro style. If I have to list a con, the biggest one would be the tape recording quality. It's just not there. You're definitely not going to be recording an album with this unit. Another con for sure for me is the SD USB interface. It's definitely hit or miss, and not the reason I bought the unit to begin with, but the features were underwhelming for sure. Another significant con would be the lack of low end. There is very poor bass with this unit. Does the higher frequencies well, but not a lot of boom in this boombox. Lastly would be the lack of weatherproofing. This is a portable unit, but be careful if you're taking it out in the elements. All things considered, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars, and I recommend it, and we'll definitely be keeping my copy, and I'll keep you posted on how it's doing, but so far so good. Well, that's what I got for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts. As always, I appreciate you watching. We're almost up to 5,000 subs, and I can't believe it. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.